on this computer. Okay, so welcome back. As I told you, we will start in this period of time during 12 classes, we will start giving the material that we gave during the lockdown. This material will be given through almost 12 classes, yani 2.5 teaching weeks. On daily basis, we will have half an hour. We will just meet to go through previous material. I know that some of you either got rid of the books or threw them, or you don't have the books or the resources that we used to work on. So as I told you, I prepared a hard copy, okay, or let's say a material that will be provided inshallah by the end of this day or by tomorrow morning maximum in school at the reception, so you can just pass by any or any of your parents, they just can go to school, get the material, and so we will do all of the work. راح يكون على these papers or these booklets. This booklet is provided with an answer key. I know that you will find that some of the material is repeated. We already took that, and this is the aim of these sessions. We will repeat the material that we gave during the lockdown, so we will reinforce any information you didn't understand, or if you have any question, and we will clarify if you have anything you want to ask about. تمام? Okay, what I prepared for today, first we will start with, as I told you, we covered during the lockdown 4 chapters, chapter 16, 17, 18, and 19. Okay, so today we will start with chapter 16. I prepared a presentation that has anything related to chapter 16 and probability we will talk about today. So if you have, as usual, as we used to do, okay, if you have any question, you can just raise your hand, or if you understand the idea, just send me a thumb up. Okay, if you want to participate, of course, you can raise your hand and I will allow you to ask any question. Tamam? Any question about that? Is there anyone? Okay, so if you understood what I said, or if you have any question, please just send me a thumb up or raise your hand if you want to ask about anything. Is everything clear for our plans in this period? Please send me a thumb up. Do you know from where to send a thumb up? Tamam. Thank you, Hala, Marah, Raya. Thank you. Great. Tamam. So let's start, Hussam, thank you, Hayru'a, great. So let's start with, I will start by sharing my screen. We have this presentation, as I told you, that we will go through. Here we are. This is the presentation for chapter 16. We will be talking about probability. As I told you, you don't have to worry about the material, or if you don't have the book, or this is okay. We will provide you with the material, okay? But you need your parents to go through the slides, to go through the material بيروحوا على المدرسة and they will get it. Okay, we will be talking about probability, okay? So what is probability? It's a measure of how likely an event will occur. So it's the chance, it's what is the chance to have a certain event to happen. Yani, for example, if we are talking about, we have a 10% chance. ماله البرزنتيشن بمشي لحاله. نرجع خلينا نرجع. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if I'm talking about probability, I'm saying that what is the chance, for example, for the weather, or for it's to rain. Today we have a 10% chance to rain. And for example, if you are throwing a dice, what is the chance to get a certain number? For example, what is your chance to get 6, to get 3, to get 1? Okay, any number from 1 to 6. Okay, the chances for you to get a certain event, this is what we call probability. Tamam? Okay. Probability usually is shown on something we call probability chart. It's something like the number line. It's from 0 to 1. Remember that 0% is it's an impossible event to happen, while when you are certain 100%, this is a 100% probability. Examples for getting impossible, for example, what is if I threw a dice, what is your chance to get a number 8, 9? It's impossible because the numbers on a dice, they are They are from 1 to 6. And if I'm talking about certain, what is your probability or what is the chance that tomorrow is Monday? Of course, it's 100% because tomorrow is Monday. So we give the 100% for something we are certain about, and we give the 0% for something that is impossible to happen. Of course, equal chances goes for 50%. Yani, for example, if we are talking about a pregnant lady, she has a 50% to get a boy and a 50% to get a chance to get a girl. Okay, so this is the probability chart. Okay, again, what is the probability? How can we find the probability of an event? It's the number of ways that can occur divided on the total number of outcomes. And what is an outcome? The outcome is the possible result that we can get. Okay. For example, when we are rolling a dice, what are the outcome? The outcomes, they are the numbers from 1 to 6. So if we want to get 6, for example, so we have only 1 6 out of 6 choices we might have, or 6 events might occur. So that would be 1 over 6. Let's take examples to talk about calculating probability. Okay. Any questions so far? Let's stop here and talk about that. Any questions so far? Any question about probability? Is there anyone who can't understand probability so far? كلياتنا تمام. نزار كيف حالك؟ Just found you. وسلينا كمان معانا. That's great. طيب. Any questions so far? ها؟
الرياضيات عندنا.
إيه. Okay. Let's talk about the first thing we talked about be chapter 16. What we just took is just take a warm-up for the first thing we need to talk about today. We are talking about calculating probability, or a term that is called mutually exclusive. What do we mean by mutually exclusive? Mutually exclusive means that when a certain outcome happens, that means the other outcome will not happen. إيش يعني will not happen؟ يعني of course, for example, if you won a match, that means you did not lose. Okay, so you can either win or lose. So if you lost, that means you didn't win, or if you won, that means that you didn't lose. Okay, let's take this fast example. Okay, they are asking about, they're saying that the probability of a team to win the next football match is 0.7. So the probability that team will draw is 0.15. Okay, work out the probability the team will not win. Okay, so not win means anything else, okay, that is not winning. So it's 0.1, it's 1 minus the 0.7, and that would be, is there anyone wants to answer? Can you raise hands? مين عنا؟ يلا محمد العلمي ها الميرمي محمد الميرمي yes it's
0.50%.
yes, it's 0.3. That's right. Excellent. Okay, so if I want to find the probability to win or draw, it's win or draw. So that would be hands. I need participation يا شباب. مين؟ I can't see anyone. جنى يلا يا جنى. كيفك جنى؟ جنى جبر.
الحمد لله. 0.5.
0.5 ولا 0.85؟ جنى؟
0.85.
That's right. It's 0.8.
0.8.
Excellent, Jana. That is right. It's 0.85. تمام. بطل يطلع ها. Yes. Okay. طب what about the probability to lose? Hence حدا هيك يساعدني عشان ما أحس إني بحكي لحالي. ها. What is the probability for you to lose? Selena. يلا يا Selena.
It's 0.1.
0.1. ليش يا Selena 0.1?
Because you either lose or win.
Okay, you either lose or win, but you have another probability, which is you can draw. Did you read the question? Okay, so they said it's 0.7 of winning and 0.15, that would be draw, and the rest is losing. So how much is the rest?
0.3.
No, it's
Oh.
1 whole minus the 0.7 plus the 0.15, and that would be 0.15. Okay, Selena?
Yeah.
Tamam. Okay, great. Any questions so far? في عنا أي question? تمام. Okay, let's continue. Talking about mutually exclusive, okay? This is an exercise that I got from the book, okay? I know you don't have the book, so as I said before, we don't need the books. Already these questions, and you will have extra exercises. I already sent them. عملتهم على booklet. This booklet راح يكون إن شاء الله in school by the end of the day أو by tomorrow إن شاء الله رب العالمين. Okay, and we have the first exercise. They are saying that the temperature each day can be either average, above average, or below average. Okay, and we have a person who's saying that the probability that tomorrow's temperature will be average is 60%. And بيشتغل لحاله أخينا بيشتغل لحاله شغال. Okay, the probability that tomorrow's temperature will be average is 60%, and the probability that temperature will be above average, that would be 35%. So the first question says, what is the probability to get a below average temperature? مين ساعدنا؟ يلا, 2 participants, شوف مين هم. لحاله. المشكلة إنه أنا مش قادرة أشوف. أوكي, في عنا يحيى صهيب. يلا يا صهيب يحيى. Yahya, you raised your hand. Huh?
It's gonna be 5%.
5%. How did you know, Yahya?
Add 60% plus 35%.
Oh,
and
okay, so
subtract
60% plus the 35%, and then you subtracted from?
But 100.
It's you subtracted from 100%, and that is right. Okay, thank you, Yahya. Who can help me with B? Not above average. So anything that is not above average. Huh, Jawad? Yeah, tell me.
56 65%.
65%, not above average.
Not above.
اسمع, it's how much?
Uh,
It's 100 minus
95%.
Okay, Jawad, just a minute. اتذكر مرة تانية. Did you read the blue note? The blue note, the probability that the temperature will be above average is 35. لما بقول لي not above average, معناتها it's 100% minus what?
يعني 100 minus 60.
ليش
plus
100 minus 60? Read it well يا جواد. احنا we're talking about not above average. يعني 100 minus the 35%. And that would be 65%. على فكرة أنت حكيتها أول كلمة. Okay, بس أنا بس سألتك أنت تلبكت. تمام? Yes, that was right. It was 100 minus the 35%, and it's 65%. That is right. تمام. Thank you, Jawad. Okay, so I think it's clear about probability. Let's answer the last one. Selena, please, will you please lower your hand? بعد إذنك لأنه it seems still it's on. Okay, not below average. Who wants to help me? هلا قلنا below average is 5%. سارة الأسمر كيف حالك؟
الحمد لله.
Okay.
So 100% minus 5%, which equals to 95%.
Excellent. It's the 100% minus the 95%, and that would be minus the 5%, and that would be the 95%. Excellent. Thank you very much. Great job. Okay, so this is what we call mutually exclusive. Let me repeat. إيش يعني mutually exclusive? It means that when an outcome happens, the rest will not happen. Is that clear? Any question على first lesson اللي هو كان mutually exclusive. What do we mean about mutually exclusive and how can we find probability? Is there any question? في حدا عنده أي clarification شباب صبايا? Okay, I'm really glad, and the attendance is 27, and I'm really happy about that. I wish everybody would be here, so I really missed your participations. Okay, so let's go for more. This is the second thing we talked about, the second idea we talked about, which is sample space diagram. This is something very important when you are doing an experiment. For example, I'm throwing a dice and a coin at the same time. Okay, so if I am tossing a dice, throwing a coin, okay, I will have two outcomes, or let's say one outcome that comes from two things. For example, if I threw the dice, I will get the numbers from 1 to 6. And if I'm throwing a coin, I will get either head or tail. Okay, so how many outcomes do I have? I can have the numbers with the tail, and I can have the 6 numbers with the head. So in total, I will be having 12 possible outcomes. Do I really need to remember all of these outcomes? I can just write these outcomes on something we call sample space diagram. The sample space diagram, it's a diagram, okay, that shows all the possible outcomes, كل الريزلتس اللي I might have. بدل ما اقعد اتذكر ايش هم اللي بده يجوا وايش الاوتكم وايش ممكن يكون. Okay, so I will just write them as a small x. So this is an example, okay, of a sample space diagram. It shows a vertical axis and a horizontal axis. The vertical axis, it shows what are the outcomes اللي موجودين على الcoin اللي هم head and a tail, H and T. And then we have the 6 outcomes that we might have by throwing the coin, the dice, which are the numbers from 1 to 6. Each outcomes, I might have one with head, one with a tail. Also, I can have the one with a head, the 2 with a head, the 2 with a tail, 3 with a head, 3 with a tail, and so on. So I just registered all of the outcomes, the possible outcomes that I have, and I wrote them on this diagram. Had the diagram, it's really helpful to find probabilities later on. So هذا اسمه sample space diagram. Sample space diagram, it doesn't have only one shape. It might have many other shapes. It can be in the form of a table. المهم إنه to show كل possible outcomes that we might get. Okay? How does it help? For example, when they ask you about to work out the probability for tail and odd numbers. فبروح للodd numbers اللي هم 1, 3, and 5, okay, with tails, and I just circle the possible outcomes. They are 3 out of how many in all? 3 out of 12. Simplify your fraction, so your probability is 1/4. تمام? هلا, sample space diagram, as I told you, it might has other forms. One of the forms is a table. So هي بس it's a way of listing كل ال possible outcomes. احنا بنكتب كل ال possible outcomes. We can write that on a table. We can write that on a diagram as you just saw with a vertical and horizontal axis. تمام? Okay. And for example, this is another example, like a class of children. Okay, they're going on an activity center. They are participating in an activity center. They have 3 choices for morning activity and 3 choices for afternoon activities. In the morning, they can go by swimming, climbing, or archery. And in the afternoon, they can go by tennis, volleyball, and football. Okay, so in the morning, they can go by swimming and any of these 3 activities. يعني they can go by swimming with tennis, swimming with volleyball, or swimming with football. إذا ما بدهم يعملوا swimming morning بيقدروا يعملوا إشي تاني اللي هو إيش؟ climbing وتنس, climbing وvolleyball, climbing وfootball. Okay? ما بدهم يعملوا climbing morning, بدهم يعملوا archery, for example. So they can go by archery tennis, archery volleyball, and archery football. So how many choices we have in general? And overall, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 possible outcomes. Had another example of sample space diagram, and then they can ask you questions about it. Okay? في حدا مش عارف إيش يعني sample space diagram؟ مش عارف كيف نكتب كل ال possible outcomes. Okay. By the way, we're almost done. خلينا ناخد بس آخر example على ال sample space diagram. Okay. هون we have a question. This question is from the book. As I told you, شباب وصبايا إحنا after each class, I just want you to go back للبوكلت اللي موجود بالمدرسة. Okay. By the end of today, please call before you reach school. By the end of today, inshallah, the booklet will be ready, photocopied. So you can take your copy. There are some exercises related to these lessons. هدول exercises are provided with an answer key. تمام? So you can just work them on and then find the answers at the back and check your answers. You can go through that. بتتسلوا فيهم وبنرجع بنراجع كل ال information that we took before. خلينا نخلص آخر exercise related لهاد and then we will see if you have any question. We're talking about Xavier. He's throwing a coin and six-sided face dice at the same time. Of course, he's labeling, he is writing the possible outcomes on a sample space diagram. رح يطلع مع sample space diagram إشي مثل اللي عملناه قبل شوي. Head and tail on the vertical axis, on the horizontal axis, we have the numbers from 1 to 6. Okay, we just draw that. They want you, okay, on the diagram to circle the points that shows tails with odd numbers. Yes, يا أكرم خضري. Yes, teacher.
Sure, you will circle 1, 3, and 5
Yes, he will go by
on the
1.
tail.
Yes, أكرم. لازم يعمل circling ل 1, 3, and 5 and the tail. That is right. Excellent. طيب, can I ask you what is the probability for having odd and tail? Can you find it for me? Once in you
3
already?
over 12, 1 over 4.
Excellent. Yes, that was 3 over 12, and that means 1 over 4. That's
4.
right. That's right. Thank you, Akram. طيب, let's work out the probability for these scorings. بدنا a tail and odd number. Tail and odd number. هلا أكرم جاوبنا إياها, which was 1/4. Okay? Okay, let's go by the last one. It's not tail, not odd. يعني ما بدي أروح لtail وما بدي أروح ل odd. معناته إيش لازم أعمل؟ Anyone wants it? The answer is already written. بس حدا يقول لي إيش بدنا نعمل؟ ها نبيه، كيف حالك يا نبيه؟
الحمد لله مس، كيفك انت؟
أنا منيحة. I'm fine, teacher. How did we get the 1/4?
مس heads and even numbers.
Excellent. So we went through the heads and even number, and they are also 3.
2,
They
4,
were
3, 6.
3 out of 12, and when we simplified, that became a
1 out of
1/4.
4.
Thank you. Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you, Nabih. Okay, هلا, I won't continue with the relative frequency. We are almost done, but I would love to answer your questions if you have any question. في حدا عنده أي سؤال يا شباب? Before we start with this part, I will just leave this part for tomorrow morning, inshallah Rabbil Alameen. Any question? Anything you want to say? Yes, يا بشار. Tell me, please.
تيتر هلا أي ساعة ممكن تكون البوكلت موجودة بالمدرسة؟
Please call before. Please call before. أنا هلا I'm going down to school. راح أكون بالمدرسة وراح أسأل إمتى بالضبط. إذا ما كانت جاهزة اليوم إن شاء الله بتكون جاهزة بكرة. In tomorrow's class برجع برد لك خبر يا بشار. تمام؟
يعني بكرة أحسن أروح صح؟ مش اليوم.
أنا أقول لك بكرة الصبح بعد الحصة أنا إن شاء الله رب العالمين بكون جبت لكم الخبر. تمام؟ بس if you wanna call today just call to check إذا الملزمة موجودة أو مش موجودة. تمام؟ Okay, everybody please go through the booklet. هو بالآخر it's not a homework, it's just a kind of refreshment to our information. These are some basics that you really need for the coming scholastic year. So I encourage everybody to go through it. نحلهم حتى لو إحنا مذاكرين شوي من الأسئلة. Give yourself a chance to do it alone and check your answers. That would be a nice thing to do. وبنتسلى فيهم كمان قبل ما نبلش المدرسة وبنرجع بنذكر إيدينا كيف لازم نكتب. Okay. See you tomorrow inshallah Rabbil Alameen. By tomorrow we will start with this new topic using relative frequency, and I'm really happy and glad to get the chance to meet you all. Inshallah Rabbil Alameen, those 10 days will be fun and they will be nice. Thank you very much. Thank you. I will stop the sharing now. Okay, and I will end up the meeting for everybody. So thank you. Any question? Is there anyone who wants to ask anything? No. No questions. Okay, so you can leave the meeting. Thank you.